Welcome everybody back to Touring the AFC South. I'm your host, Mike Patton, and we couldn't stop talking Julio Jones just yet. We had to talk a little bit longer about him, but I don't want to just be talking about him myself. So I brought somebody in, somebody who is an Atlanta Falcons fan. None other than Mr. James Raymer, a.k.a. those that know him in Nashville, one-on-one the beat, Dola White. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? I'm the one person in Nashville not happy that Julio's here. So probably the first person that you talk to, with something negative to say about it. So here we are.
Well, I got to ask, man. How did you get the nickname Dola White?
It's honestly not that good of a story, man. When I was a freshman at Georgia Southern University, trying to figure out DJ names, and I jokingly said Dola White as a play off of Dolomite, and I wasn't going to use it. I had no intention of using it. And then the next day, all my homies started calling me that, and it just stuck. And that was it. Here we are, 4 years later, something like almost 25 years later, and they still stuck. So here we are.
Gotcha. So, as we talked about, you are an Atlanta Falcons fan.
Unfortunately, die hard. Yeah.
How is it been just to be one, man? This Atlanta Falcons fan.
I say this all the time, and I mean this. The Falcons fans have been through more in recent history than any other fan base in any other sport. I know the Cubs got a lot of pub before they won their last World Series, the Red Sox up until 2004, but nobody has taken more abuse than us. And I'll put up what the things that we've gone through as a fan base over anything, from having Deion and Brett Favre on the same team and both of them getting away, to Michael Vick going to the federal penitentiary, to blowing the biggest lead in NFC championship history, and then the biggest lead in Super Bowl history. And now Julio Jones leaving, the greatest player, in my opinion, in franchise history. I mean, I said that on my Instagram post when I posted about Julio. It was like, I rank him above Prime. I rank him above Deion. I rank him at number one. He is our guy. He is the best player we have ever had and stuck around for the longest, contributed more to the organization than anybody. And now he's gone. So, we've gone through. That's just getting started. That's just off the top of my head, all of those horrible things that I remembered. If I went back and looked, I could find a lot more. So, yeah, it's tough being a Falcons fan, bro. It's not easy. It's not for the life.
You stuck it out, though. You stuck it out. But,
I'm still here.
I have to ask, do you have a top five of Falcons players of all time?
I would probably go. I mean, Julio, obviously number one. Deion, easily number two. I think number three is tough, because I think you either have to look at. There's so many people that could go in that slot, from Matt Ryan, who is the best quarterback we've ever had, to Michael Vick, who brought more eyes on the team than anybody since Deion, to Tony Gonzalez, who's the best tight end to ever play the game. All of them put on our uniform, but and then you also have to throw, I feel like, Roddy White, Jesse Tuggle in there. It's hard to do a top five. We've had good players, just they all end in heartbreak for us. So so I would have to seriously think about that and to rank a top five. But I think the top two, obviously, you go Julio at number one and Deion at number two.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I got to ask, when you heard the news that Julio Jones got traded to the Titans, what were your first initial feelings and thoughts?
I thought, and this is no knock on the Titans or anything like that, I thought it was kind of a lateral move. Honestly, Derrick Henry is a generational player. Don't get me wrong. Derrick Henry is that guy. I thought Ryan Tannehill is kind of comparable to Matt Ryan a little bit. You know what I mean? Matt's a little bit older now. I get it. And Ryan Tannehill is definitely still on the upside of his career. AJ Brown is a great wide receiver, but he had Kyle Pitts on the other side in Atlanta. Or I'm sorry, he has Kyle Pitts as tight end and Calvin Ridley on the other side. So I thought maybe kind of a lateral move. The Titans, when we talk about Super Bowl heartbreaks, I think you got to talk about Buffalo. You talk about us, obviously, and then you talk about the Titans Super Bowl. So they came close one time as well. But if you're leaving town because you say you want to win, no knock on the Titans, but they've won as many Super Bowls as the Falcons have. You know what I'm saying? which is 0. So maybe he just wanted that change of pace. I'm glad he's in the city, and not because I'm a Titans fan or anything like that, but if the Falcons don't win a Super Bowl, the next team I'd like to see win is the Titans, because I would love to see Nashville win that game, that title. You know what I mean? And I talk about this a lot, but I'm a Falcon fan first. I'm always going to be a Falcon fan, but like, I'm a Nashvilleian too. You know what I mean? I've been here almost 20 years at this point. I have no intention of ever going back to Atlanta. Don't want to go back to Atlanta. If my wife and my family leave Nashville, we're probably out of the country somewhere. So, as long as we're American citizens, we are staying here. But having said that, I grew up a Falcon fan, and that just, for whatever reason, I can't get rid of that. So, here I am.
All right. So how long did I will say this, definitely was a lot of excitement, of course, obviously.
There should be. I know he was injured last season, and for somehow, because he was injured last season, I've heard the word injury prone. He's not an injury prone player. I've watched literally every game he's ever played as an NFL professional. He is not an injury prone player, and he's still a top 5 wide receiver. I know they said top 10. He's a top 5. If he's not nursing a hamstring, he's a top 5 wide receiver. And not only that, but when the ball is not going to him, he does more than any other player. He's going to block. He's going to draw those double teams. He's going to do all of those little things that you just hope your star wide receiver does. And that's why he's such a generational player. You're not going to get another Julio Jones.
Gotcha. So now you go from watching Atlanta games in Julio Jones to watching some Titans games, perhaps, in Julio Jones?
I'll watch the Titans if the Falcons aren't playing at the same time. But if the Falcons are playing, I'm watching them, no matter how bad it gets, and it gets bad. I'm there all 4 quarters, and I'm watching them. So, yeah. Sometimes it's tough, but I'll say this though, I'm a lot better now. Like, if I know that we're just trash, like, I'm not like going crazy cursing and stuff like that. It's when we're good and we're losing that it means something. But like last season, man, I was watching the second half of that season. I was just like, all right, whatever, I'm just gonna watch the game. No emotion at that point. So
one thing I will ask you as well is, that you get to watch him here, does it even lessen the blow any?
No, I prefer. I'm not somebody that wants to go to the game. I prefer watching the game from my couch. Just my preference. So, whether I was living in Atlanta or living here, it doesn't matter. I'm watching them. I'm watching the game at home, and it doesn't lessen the blow at all. It's bad. It's always bad.
Gotcha. So, as far as Titans fans who are not familiar with Julio Jones, which there are very few of those, but anyway, what can you tell them about what to expect from Julio Jones, just that they may not see on the everyday regular? That
I think what doesn't get talked about him is his willingness to block. So Derrick Henry not only got somebody to maybe see less people in the box, but he also got somebody that's gonna block until the whistle is blown, and that's Julio Jones. He's gonna block until the whistle is blown. And not only that, but and we saw this in the Super Bowl, but when the game is on the line and you got to throw one up, he can make that catch, and he will make that catch, and he made it on the biggest stage. And had Kyle Shanahan decided to kick a field goal, Julio would have a ring right now. You know what I mean? But Julio would have a ring because he made to me a top 3 Super Bowl catch of all time. And it's not remembered that way because Kyle Shanahan didn't kick the field goal. But here we are. But he does everything. There's nothing he can't do. And the other thing I tell people is if I always tell people, if you could build a basketball player's body, not anything else, just their body, you would probably build LeBron James. If you could build a wide receiver's body and frame, you would build Julio Jones. And he's just a naturally gifted guy that also plays till the whistle is blown.
Gotcha. So, all important question for you. I got two of them.
Okay.
First one. Are you getting the number 2 Julio Jones?
I am not. My wife said she thought about buying me and my daughter and I one for Father's Day, and I was like, nope, we won't be doing that. And the messed up thing is she was trying to get us matching Falcons jerseys that aren't Julio Jones and could not find the only kids jersey she could find in the new style were Julio. So I was like, I guess they haven't just stocked the shelves where anybody knew they were selling somebody Julio jersey, but no, I'm not getting a number 2 Titans jersey unless Julio, hears me talking about him on the air one day and decides to give me one himself. At that point, I would take one. But I have a signed Julio ball back here somewhere that my wife got me for Christmas one year as well. So I have Julio, Roddy White, Tony Gonzalez, and Matt Ryan, which is dope. So,
man, hey, you're building a nice cave there.
Yeah, no, definitely.
All right, and then my last question is: I know you're a Falcons fan. Julio's here. Are you feeling the synergy to kind of root for the Titans more this year?
I always root for the Titans a little bit but it's weird, man, because when they're not your team, you can be like, yeah, I'm going for that team, but you don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see the Titans win, but if they lose, I'm not hurt. Like, I'm not like, damn, like I wish that. Well, even when they're in the AFC Championship a couple years back, like I had a Titans jersey on. I was, at weekend watching the game, and I really wanted them to win, but they lost, and I was cool. Whereas, if the Falcons lost that Super Bowl, I was down for a month. Like I felt like, something left me, you know what I mean? Like it really did hurt. But I'll always root for the Titans if the Falcons aren't playing. But if they lose, I really don't care.
Well, I want to say thank you for your time tonight, and thank you for bringing us a little bit more perspective of Julio from the Atlanta side and the Nashville side as well. Can you just tell everybody where they can find you at? Podcast, 101 The Beat, everything.
Absolutely. 2 to 6 p.m., 101 The Beat, every day, Monday through Friday. Dolo White Podcast, normally doing 2 episodes a week right now, Monday mornings and Thursday mornings, except a lot of holidays fall on Monday, so I don't do episodes that day. But other than that, follow me IG, TikTok, which I'm not on very much, but follow me anyway. Clubhouse, which I'm also not on very much, and Twitter at Dolowite101, DOLEWITE 101.
Well, again, thank you for your time, and I also will say this: I definitely enjoy listening to your podcast. It's definitely something different.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. It's kind of my focus right now. It's my pride and joy. I definitely appreciate the support every time. You always hold me down and post it in your stories, and I really do appreciate that, because that's how word gets out, man. Thank you for having me. I love talking sports, man. Anytime you want to talk sports, let me know. I'm here, especially if you need some Falcon perspective. That's what I'm most versed and educated on. Talking everything else, I might sound like a dumbass, but when it comes to talking about the Falcons, I can do that intelligently and eloquently every time. I'll never let you down for that. So if we blow another 28-3 lead, you can.
Oh man, I wasn't even gonna say anything about it because I have a good friend that's a Falcons fan, and I leave him alone about it.
It hurts. It still to this day hurts, man. I just want to see them win one before I, perish and leave the earth. So if they can do that, they had the opportunity to, and you can't help but think that they're not going to have that opportunity again. But you never know.
Gotcha. Well, again, thank you, and we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with our next segment, talking Jacksonville Jaguars season and how they're going to do this year. This is Touring the AFC South.